Okay, last one, paper 2, question 11 on climate change. Okay, so let's read the information first. Yeah, here it mentioned that the frog population is in decline due to the fungus, right, which causes a deadly disease, right? Then it went on to talk about climate change, except or that further affect I don't know how to read this word, right, that further affect and cause a further decline, right, in the frog population because of the habitat, right, which is the lowland wet areas in the tropical forest. Okay, then the question, show this word again, right, and ask you how climate change again, right, climate change, again, I don't know how to read this word, right? Climate change further, right, affect the population and cause some more decline. Right, so is the question asking about the fungal disease? No, right? So for those who went back to talk about how the fungal disease is enhanced, right, by the climate change, I didn't give you marks. Even though you are correct, I mean, your answers logical, good, right? But we are looking for, and again, based on how the question is phrased, they are the question is looking for, right, other reasons how climate change affects the frogs. Oh. Right, so given that they live in these lowland wet areas, where you can talk about flooding, you can talk about rise in sea level, then cause flooding, right? You can talk about increased rainfall that cause flooding, or you can talk about droughts that cause the wet areas to no longer be wet, right? So anything that's logical, right, that results in the loss of habitat for the frog, which would then further cause decline, right, in the frog population on top of the fungal disease. So that, again, that's what the question is asking for, right? That's why you got 0 for quite a number of you, even though your answers are quite logical and well written. Okay. Then for part B, well, part B, I thought I mentioned this in CA2, right? When you read graphs, please use a ruler and read the graph accurately, precisely. Some of you are not some, many of you are still not doing that. So you make the same mistake again, right? So here I drew the lines to show how you should have read the graph, right? So at year 0, the number of cases should be about 6, right, per 1,000 population, not 5, clearly, not 7, right, not so high, right, about 6, 6.5, yeah. Then at year 5, right, it is about 13, really. My answer put 12.5, but 13 probably is better. Not 14, right, and certainly not 15. Okay, so read your graph accurately, right? Use a ruler, use another pen, right, to draw a straight line, right? So you drew lines that are slanted. Right? So if you cannot draw straight line, then I think you should have learned this in primary school, right? How you can use a triangular ruler or 2 rulers, right, to help you to draw a straight line that is like a 90-degree, right, to the vertical line. Okay, please do that to read your graph more accurately. Right, if not, you get marked down on quoting of values, which these are marks you shouldn't lose, right? 保华, right, to lose this kind of marks just because you are a bit lazy, right, and don't want to read the graph carefully. Okay, so that will explain why some of you lost the first point. Right? I didn't put the numbers here, but yeah, you will have seen my numbering besides the tick, right? So that is the first point. Then for the second point is to talk about how amphibians like frogs are predators of mosquitoes, because amphibians eat insects. That's just common knowledge that you should know. For those who don't, I don't know, yeah, watch less TikTok and yeah, watch more documentary or something. Okay, that's what I do anyway. So then move on, okay, to how, because of the lack of predators after the amphibians population has declined, that there are more mosquitoes, right? And specifically for malaria, we are talking about the Anopheles mosquitoes. not Aedes aegypti, right? The Anopheles mosquitoes that spread malaria in particular. Okay, another just a comment, another mistake is that your malaria is not due to a virus, it's due to a Plasmodium parasite. All this you should know, yeah, because the learning outcome included malaria and dengue. When we talk about how climate change causes the spread of mosquito-borne diseases, it's both dengue and malaria. There is the information about Anopheles, Plasmodium parasite in the notes. Right, even though we didn't focus on it too much, right, in the tutorial, we focus a bit more on dengue. Doesn't mean you don't have to know the malaria and the Anopheles mosquitoes. Okay. Then for those who have really lack of general knowledge and thought that the mosquitoes fed on the frogs or the amphibians, and because of the decline, so they feed on humans instead, that is totally wrong. Like totally. Okay. Then move on to part 2, right? Why the number of cases drop after 5 years? Okay, so for those, let me talk about mistakes first. For those who mentioned that, oh, now the temperature is too hot for the mosquitoes and they cannot survive, or they migrated somewhere else, right? Well, currently you still see a lot of mosquitoes in the tropics, right? So really, that is not factually correct to say that the temperature is too high for mosquitoes. Also, right, any effect of climate change after just 5 years, right? Because beyond 5 years, right? So after just 5 years, the effect of climate change wouldn't increase so significantly, right? Until now, even the mosquitoes can't survive. So not really lah. So the best answer would be actually human intervention in terms of vaccination, in terms of removal of stagnant water. Some of you suggested somehow there's another predator that comes in. Okay, I've given it to you. That is really not the best reason, but still logical enough. Okay, so you mentioned that the amphibians number increased again. Well, but that is forgetting or ignoring the fungal disease and the effect of climate change that has decimated the amphibian population in the first place. Right, those fungal disease and climate change effects are still around, right? So it is not logical to say that somehow the amphibians population increase again, right? So yeah, so that's it's not accepted. Okay, so yeah, so that would be question 11.